Today we're going to talk about the dyno from a biomechanics perspective.
Surprisingly, good climbers rely mostly on their legs and feet. In fact, just about the only difference between a good and great climber is in their technique and true utilization of their lower body in tandem with their upper body. Not only does relying on your feet take most of the weight off your arms and fingers, but it actually helps lower your center of gravity, move it closer to the wall, and activate the strongest muscles in your body. What is a dyno? A dyno is an explosive leap where the climber launches off the wall, briefly going airborne, to reach a hold that is too far away for any static move. Where does the explosiveness come from? The legs extending while simultaneously pulling with your arms. The secret is in the timing and positioning of the body.
So let's look at a dyno from a biomechanics standpoint. This is Carter getting into the loading phase of a dyno. This bottom isometric hold is called amortization. This is a brief moment between the eccentric dropping of the body and the concentric explosive motion for the jump. Elastic energy is stored in this phase, so the longer it is, the more energy is lost. So let's look at the biomechanics of this loading phase. Here's a free body diagram that's a little complicated, but we'll get through it. We can see in the green arrows there's the force internal of the quadriceps pulling the knees into extension and holding this isometric position, as the force external, the force gravity, pulls the knees into flexion. In purple, we see the torque external, which is driving the knees into flexion from the force external. And in white, we see the torque internal pulling the knees into extension from the force internal of the quadriceps. The next phase of the jump we identified is the airborne phase, or the launching phase. This is where the knees reach full extension and the quadriceps have fully contracted. The only force acting on Carter right now is the force of gravity pulling him down. And the last phase of the dyno is the catch phase, where the motion has been completed, the goal has been achieved, and Carter has reached the upper rock.
How can dyno go wrong? If too much weight is put into your arms, you can't push off past where you're holding, essentially a pull-up. An example of this is campusing, where one only uses their arms when bouldering, often used to develop maximum power and power endurance in your arms and upper body. This effort is insufficient for completing bouldering challenges, hence why walls have studs for feet. Without enough force or poor hand or foot placement, the climber loses their balance and increases their risk of injury upon landing. How can dyno be successful? By lowering the center of mass and using your legs to jump as if from a squat or leg press positioning, which can easily get you higher than where you started. As touched on before, amortization uses the stretch shortening cycle, transitioning the movement from eccentric to concentric phase. It is critical to performing explosive exercises such as jumping and sprints.